everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Miss T. That is me. Today I'm having a conversation with Vusi Mohale. He used to be my student when he was in grade 10. Yeah. All right. Enjoy.
Okay, I know you will bash me for this, but I'm a non-reader. Like angazi incwadi ngiyifunda makwenzakala. I just only read my what is a must to read, read it out, then I'm done.
Yeah.
So so what would your book bring? Like izongathatha kanjani me as a non-reader? Because I believe like I didn't have this thing when I was growing up. Even now, I still don't have it of reading
Right,
books.
right.
But yeah, how can you like convert a non-reader like me to be a
Hmm.
bookworm?
Okay, so I mean, the aim is not to convert you to be a bookworm. We all receive information differently. I would say that the one thing that would attract you to the book is obviously the illustrations and the cover. You know, you look at it and you wonder, big fat man and in the a village. Well, this is interesting. And I like how my illustrator did it. We don't show the race of the big fat man on the front cover. Only when you start turning the pages, you realize he's black and, you know, he's going to have a cat as a friend. So yes, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this to write such a fun book. And you're helping me, you know, turn the sequel into something that's humorous, which is great because I'm looking forward to the sequel. I think that's very important for parents, especially to
Mhm.
instill the habit of reading to their kids. Because,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember growing up, they used to say that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. And I'm just like,
Yes.
no, we cannot live like that anymore. We will turn every single page to find information.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I would say that the book will that the cover and the illustrations and the graphics of the book will definitely attract you to want to read that caption. And we're
Mhm.
also starting slow, so it's not a heavy read; it's an easy read, and I think that parents and kids would enjoy it.
So would you do like more literature books? Like meaning
Um,
like your poems and stuff?
I'm not. Yes, I have. You see, I only write poetry when I'm heartbroken.
Yes. Good stuff's come from a broken place.
Yeah,
Good
so
art.
so I only write poetry when my heart is aching, but I thought about publishing it. We'll see how it goes. Yes, so you should definitely expect more work for kids because I have a huge passion for kids and I like
Mhm.
how parents have responded to this book and I just want to keep it going because one parent asked me to keep writing so their kid keeps reading. Yes,
Yeah,
Tanya, you have a
yeah, yeah.
point?
Oh, on that. Okay, I see now why not was so much on your personal life. Someone would ask me, do you have a kid?
I have about 100 kids. You being one of them. What's
Umntwana nje
funny?
bengaka. Guys, umntwana nje bengaka.
A kid is always
Angeke.
a kid. So I know there's that age difference. It stays like that. It's
Umntwana nje
funny.
bengaka.
What is the one thing that you wish teachers knew about you as students? Okay, me in particular, maybe not all the teachers. What is the one thing that you wish I knew as your teacher about you when you were still in school?
Ooh. I think the fact that we're not the same, and as learners or students, we hide ourselves or like build a wall in the whole group thing. When we're in school, we wear uniform and stuff. It's we kind of feel like we have these superpowers. Go on, like kind of feel like a Superman because now I know I can mask whatever that I'm coming from. But now when I'm here, we look the same, but we are not the same.
Mhm.
I might some of us might have been, as these kids, some of these kids might have been clowns in the class, but not necessarily wanting to be clowns. Maybe they just want attention. Some of them are just not properly attended to.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we find school as a place to like show that emotion and get that attention from your
Okay. Okay. So put the question down because I'm not writing, you're gonna write. So
okay.
the next question would be, what was your memorable moment between the two of us? Maybe maybe in the classroom or maybe outside the classroom, but you as a student at the time and me as a teacher at the time. What was the most memorable experience for you?
I have three that I think are at the paramount right now. Okay, the first one was I'm very sensitive with my personal life. I don't like people in my personal life. As fine as you know me is Tando, which is Vusi. There's Yolen and whatnot. But when you met my grandma, I felt like, oh, she's more than a teacher. She's more of a caring person and stuff. And I'm like, oh, now she really cares. That's how I'd see it. And also when I was in class, uh, yeah,
Okay. Keep talking. Uh-huh.
yeah. When I was in class, there was a time where you were okay. You're putting me into order and discipline. I still remember your words. I'll never forget those words. Those words were harsh. But
What
cool.
did I say?
You were like, Tando, you remind me of my days in high school. I'm being Papa and Jordan and whatnot. But the only difference between me and you is that I'm being passed. And I was like,
Me, see that?
it's true as Bob. I think I annoyed you that day because I was around friends and yeah, we were making a lot of noise that day. Like we were making a lot of noise.
No, actually, I'm not sorry. You made me upset. Okay, and the third one?
Oh, the other one was that you were chilled. You were not like a typical teacher.
Yeah.
You wasn't a typical teacher. We would come there, would speak to you, we would laugh, we'd have jokes. Oh, ah! Ah! The other
Let's
thing
laugh
that I won't
together.
forget.
Let's laugh together, please.
I remember when we in that lab office, and TK came in through and he was like, "Mr. Angel, do you do family planning?" Yeah? I'm like, dude, for real.
Uh-huh.
I know he died, Jen, because of your reaction.
I don't remember.
Like, I took us on the canteen, man. That Mr. Affair, that's it. Straight back. And then he left the situation just like that. He left us with a bombshell. Now we wanna know. Yeah.
Story of my life. So for me, like particularly with you, first of all, your class was one of my favorite classes because we had a very good relationship. And this is not conventional, but I could punish you and you could punish me. I think there was a time when you guys punished me for being late. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not tell people about that. But yeah, because to me, you guys have always been more than just students. You were human beings, and I never looked down upon you. I really did respect you. Okay, so Wena Notapen, here's the most memorable experience. First of all, you guys loved me before I had a car, and we would take walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we walked and we were walking past this house, Yama Rastafarians, and they were smoking. And you made jokes about that, and we were all laughing. And I think that was the time that I found out that you play a guitar. And I was so shocked, but I was so happy at the same time that you have a
Oh, yeah.
passion outside of work. Outside of school, sorry, not work yet. And of course, I remember meeting your gran, um, and for me, I love that because I'm reminded, Uchi, you're more than just my learner. Like the time that we spend together, you have a life
Yeah.
outside of that, and I want to be a part of that so that you can. Because you guys entered into my life in ways that, like it's like we were friends, and then when I got a car, there was a time I had to drive somewhere. So when I know Tapelo, you drove with me and you introduced me to Uti. Your time. I said, like you remember. And so we played it on repeat, Sana, to wherever we were going. On the way back, we played the same song. And then you guys
Over the
introduced
next.
me to the song Vusi. Vusi.
Mamusan, pinakali ka Mamusan. Ah,
Honestly, I did not want to listen to that song, but I did. I was just like, oh, these kids. And so you made me listen to it. After a few times of listening to it, I was like, okay, fine, guess is really the boost. And then when was it? Oh yeah, and then you guys would just come and show me things. Do you remember that? You just come to my office and show me all these
yeah.
things like comedy. Tell me about you introduced me to the guy, Juban Monli.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
introduced me to Monli.
Actually, this is hitting me now. My first time on actually being on stage and stuff, I was with you.
Yes, I pushed you. We were sitting
Yeah.
together, and then I did not know you were a comedian. I knew you were funny, and then you went on stage, and there was that
I
guy.
knew I was funny, and I was like, I can do this.
Yeah, I was so proud of you that day, Sana. I don't want to lie. What was it? What program was it?
It was amped.
Amped, yeah, it amped. And so that
Yeah.
guy called a comedian on stage, and then you went and you shared your comedy. And I was so filled with pride. And you had to exchange numbers with him, right? And I was like, I'm gonna be there and
Yeah,
make sure it happened.
yeah, that's hey, yeah, it's fine. But we are entering, we're entering.
What happened?
He left that guy. I inboxed him, tried to headhunt him down. Yeah,
Life.
that's what it.
Life.
Life happened.
Yeah, life happened. But it's fine because that's when you realize the talent
Yeah,
that
that's
you
when I
have.
realized I was like,
Yeah.
actually, what I came for here is this.
Yeah.